X. Put my two out here too, make it look more important.
Ready? Oh, turn the lights on. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Andy. Big time. Makeup good? Is there a glare?
Powder?
Good back there with you? Look good on camera?
Okay.
Before Jerry starts, I'd like to open up that we're 1-0 in games in which Jerry is recognized pregame with a game ball. So, I'm I'm a little stitious, but
that was my ball. They came and got it from me.
Yeah, we tricked you.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Coach. 1-0 in the postseason here at Arkansas to start. Your team's used to quick turnarounds, but this is a quick turnaround against a new opponent. So what do you and the coaching staff do to get ready?
We're going to go to a movie and eat some Olive Garden. I don't think there's any chance we'd get anything good done in practice on the practice floor today. We're going to watch a little film. This is a 26-win team we're getting ready to face, so they're used to winning. Very balanced. It's going to take our mental effort today and physical effort tomorrow. So we'll recover today and then turn out. We have been having quick turnarounds, so we'll be okay with a one-day prep. I don't think we could have done it if we tried to practice and spread it out over 2 days.
Can you just talk about what they bring? Are they somewhat similar to you? And I mean, I know they score a lot of points.
They do score a lot of points. I mean, they've got a kid that's made 110 threes. They don't get fouled as much as we do, but they shoot more threes. They're very finesse. Randy does a heck of a job with putting kids in positions to be successful. Like, they don't try to do things they can't do. Their roles are very clearly identified. His culture is very established. You know what you're going to get when you play him. He's not trying to trick you either. It's come get it, and this is what you're going to get. So they're confident. They went on the road and won at Troy, which is nobody plays as number of possessions as Troy does. So our pace is going to feel like a day off compared to what they just did. So they're established. They've got, I think 4 of their starters have started every game. The other kids started all but 2. So clearly identifiable, do what they do, and they do it really well.
Is there a matchup difficulty that you see there?
For us. Yeah, for us. Well, and I think if there is one for us, it presents a different one for them too. I think Dungy is just always that kid that is she puts kids in a tough matchup. Their big kid's really good, and Kiera and Taylor will have their work cut out. Can't guard her one-on-one. We'll have to do some things but we've been doing that all year long, having to double the post but they don't have anybody you can't guard on the perimeter. You have to guard everybody. So it's going to take a lot of mixing them up, man and zone. You'll see both of those two things. And I just think we're going to have to play as well as we played all year to beat these guys.
Just the way Dungy's playing, I mean, do you expect them to gimmick or do anything to try and different?
No, it's not really his style either to gimmick us up or to go outside of what they do. I think obviously she'll have their attention, and I think everybody's plan on paper is to not foul her, make her make shots before you foul her. And I think she's made more free throws than anybody in the country. Is that still right? So that's a hard task. I mean, you can say it, you can write it down on paper, and you can show the film all you want, but trying to do it is another thing. So I think he'll try to do what he does, but I do think there will be a lot of attention paid to her. He and his staff do a great job of getting into your tendencies. And we'll have to we won't be able to win with plan A. We'll have to go to plan B and C sometimes.
What do you do to kind of get Galden back up after the game she struggled?
Let her move on. That was an outlier game. We call them Space Jam games. If you remember that movie Space Jam, there's when the Monstars come down and take over the people's body. She had a Monstar game, and she'll be okay. But it's important that we get her going. It's we're at our best when Mal can play, with 8 to 10 minutes rest, and we've been playing those two kids together about 4 or 5 minutes, and that makes us really, really tough to guard off the bounce. So she'll be fine. She had her Space Jam game, and I think she'll be back in practice, ready to go.
You talk about, lots is made about Chelsea getting to the foul line.
Yeah.
What does she do to just the knack she has to be able to get to the foul line when, like you said, everybody says, hey, just don't foul her?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's about giving your defense disinformation. She's so good at giving them – they think this is happening when this other stuff's really happening. She's really good. This offhand, she's like a magician. This offhand is over here getting you to look at it, and she's gone this way or this hand, and she's incredibly difficult to officiate. We have to do it every day in practice. And believe me, when I've got that whistle in my mouth, the other team is always mad at me. And I always come back with, guys, you think you're mad at me? She made more free throws than anybody in the country. So they get used to it. But she's incredibly hard because she gives the defense a lot of disinformation. And now that she is in the shape that she's in, her first step is deceptively quick. And when she shoots it like she shoots it with such a quick release and such range, as a defender, you're really at a disadvantage. Then you get the other kids surrounded, Mason shooting it like she's been shooting it. If you can look at the overall stats, which I think are a telling, to use the term that's been popular lately, the body of work. But I mean, you look, she's shooting almost 60% from the 3-point line in her last 5 games. So you got to guard her. And the job that Kiara Williams did last night, when you go back and you rewatch that film, we laid it in 3 times after a made basket with 27 seconds on the shot clock. That's 3-second transition from getting it out of the net into Mal's hands and up the floor, or one time it was Jalen's. That is crushing to another defender. And so she had a tremendous game last night. If Chelsea hadn't had the night she had, then Kiara Williams is, MVP.
I say she had 5. I didn't realize this last night, but 5 shot blocks to go with everything.
She has proven me wrong. I didn't realize she had such good timing when I got here, and I'm a wall up defender. Let's not try to block shots, and we've completely changed that with her. As long as she can get into the second quarter without fouling. She used to get in foul trouble too much. She never could stay on the floor. So we kind of got an understanding that if you can get through that first or second quarter without having fouls, you can try to block any shot you want. And I think she's in the top 5 or 10 in the SEC in shot blocks. And you look at who's ahead of her, and they're all 6'4", 6'5", 6'8", 6. I mean, they're people you would think are shot blockers. So she's just been, and in the production that we get between her and Taylor combined, is better than most post players, individual post players around the country.
Just reviewing again, just the Tennessee thing, do you feel was no factor last night at all?
No, I think, you mean for us? No, I think there was a little sting still. I didn't try to talk our kids off of that. I really didn't, and maybe that was a mistake, but I want them to be mad about it. I want them to remember that when we're lifting weights this summer. And I want them to remind those freshmen when they get on campus how bad Monday sucked. That was a hard day, and I don't want to just say, forget about it, because you can't. When you're that close and you just keep hearing it over and over and over and seeing it, and I don't want them to forget it. I want them to remember it and sear it into their minds so that this summer when Coach Barber's got them in the weight room, he can use that to their motivation. They can express it to those freshmen when they get on campus that we don't want to leave any doubt when it comes this time next year. And we can go back, and we've done it. It's if we win the Kentucky game, we're in the tournament. That was a 1.8 second. If we get a stop there, we're in the tournament. If we don't turn it over on the sideline against Auburn and lose that one, we're in the tournament. You win at Iowa State, you're in the tournament. So I want them to remember all that stuff. And I think it probably did affect us a little bit to start. I think there was – and I'm going to tell you something else. As great as our crowd was, it put a little pressure on us. It was awesome. They wanted to play, so they were trying so hard to get a spontaneous hog call. I talk about that all the time. Make our crowd erupt, not one where John Williams has to say, hey, let's stand up and call those hogs. One that the crowd just does it on their own. So they were pressed a little bit. Got a little tight, but found it just in time. Just in time to advance. And we're getting close, too. The other thing we're getting close to is the most wins in SEC history, I think 24. Is that right? It's 20. I think one team won 24 and a couple won 22. So we're getting close to, setting some program highs for total wins during the SEC season, and they pay attention to stuff like that. All right. Thank y'all.